Welcome to Booming Your Bottom Line. With over 76 million boomers in the U.S. and 10,000 of them turning 65 every day, these older consumers will reach almost 20% of the U.S. population by the year 2030. Cities across the nation are not ready for this. They simply don't have the structure in place to support the aging boomers. There's not enough of nearly everything that they're going to need. Home remodeling and maintenance, financial services, legal services, occupational and physical therapy, doctors, transportation, delivery, you name it. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to step up, be part of the solution, and profit from it? If so, you're going to have to learn how to reach them, how to talk to them, and how to structure your business so it better meets their needs. I'm Mark Hager, and along with my co-host Aaron Murphy, we're going to teach you how to grow your business, help more people, and realize the income of your dreams. So let's get to this week's topic. Hi, and welcome to episode 34 of Booming Your Bottom Line. I'm Mark Hager, and with me, as every week, is Aaron Murphy. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm awesome, Mark. How are you?
Doing great. Okay, so today we want to address something that I think everyone shies away from, something a lot of people don't truly study like a student would and should with the intent of getting really good at it. And yet, we get to the point where we need this skill as business owners multiple times in any given week. Any idea what that skill might be?
Well, tell you what, why don't I give you a couple stats that may tip it off for the listeners real quick, okay? 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. 12% make a third and stop. Only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. And yet, 2% of sales are made on the first, 3 on the second, 5 on the third, 10 on the fourth. That means the last major majority, 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact.
Yep, and that's right. Sales is the topic today. Everyone in small business knows about sales tactics, right? So what's so specific and unique about what we're talking about today is how to specifically do it to serve the boomer consumer client.
Yeah, so for us, what's unique in this discussion is that it isn't just the close rate being in the follow-up and the follow-up, and that follow-up after that.
Yeah.
It's the how you do this, how you create relationships over time. Your networking efforts face-to-face are actually drip marketing in their own right. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes persistence, but the results can be phenomenal. Mark, I actually learned a lot of what I know about this process and what I learned to term soft selling by reading a great book when I was flipping houses and doing real estate investing full time. I took a paid course for 6 weeks. I paid a couple $1,000s for that personal growth, training, and accountability of this coursework by Alexis in Sacramento. And that was when I was purchasing pre-foreclosures. And the book is called Soft Selling in a Hard World. It's the plain talk on the art of persuasion by Jerry Vass. And you can go on Amazon and get a copy of that. It's worth it.
That sounds like a great read, Aaron. Let's get a link to that and put it in the podcast notes so people can find it.
Sure.
So clearly you have some experience in taking the time and having the patience to create that trust and rapport that benefits your business in the form of long-term relationships. How about you give us an example that takes this concept into account?
Okay. Yeah, I mentioned networking is really drip marketing. It's just the face-to-face version, right? So here's one recent example from my architecture firm. I've been wanting to work with a certain developer in our county for many years. He's probably one of the top 3 to 5 property landowners in our county, and he's actively developing projects, which would include a design team, like me, an architect. He's picked other architects for years while I was getting my firm name out there with smaller projects in the first 2 to 4 years when we were still coming out of the recession. Then about 18 months ago, I made a conscious decision to start drip exposing Mike about ADM architecture and the fact that we don't just do residential aging in place design work, but we've done over 1 million square feet of commercial projects as well. He wasn't aware of that. So first he needed, and we've talked about this in past episodes, educational exposure.
Right.
Then he needed to see my name in print occasionally and my face in person. So I made a plan. I stop by his office, or I'd share an article, send him an email about an article that I read, probably on a project of his, to say, hey, congrats, looks great, or forward into some industry information to him. Okay, I do that quarterly, okay, just to not be overbearing or blatant. The guy's busy, okay? And it's hard to be patient in that process, but you must. Soft selling is that. It's a process. It's not an overnight success story.
And that's a very good point. Creating relationships with your consumer, in this case it was developer, but in the case of our audience, boomer consumers, it's a long game. It's a vision for your business. I know we have a webinar coming up about the sales process and how different it is for the boomer consumer opportunity versus the general public, millennials, Gen Xers, Gen Ys, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So where does your story go from here?
Okay, well, 18 months later, more recently, a month or two ago, I did a commercial broker and his real estate team a favor by giving her a couple hours of my time without an invoice, which she did tell me got back to Mike. And 3 weeks later, I offered his general contracting company a chance to bid on a small job in my neighborhood. Well, his neighborhood, actually, but, my neighborhood meaning it's my project first.
Right.
The result, 2 weeks after that, he gave my firm a small project to work on. Now we're testing each other, right? At a small, low-risk level. But I'm on his radar. Perfect. Now, 4 months after that, and I know, 2 years later in total, I was shortlisted and asked to interview for a major project that he's doing, a mixed-use building with commercial and retail on the first floor and 45 apartments on 2 stories above it, okay? That's the culmination of soft selling with natural exposures and slow, steady seeding of a relationship.
Wow, that is amazing. So what has that proven to be worth to your company? I mean, you have to explain why you went through that much effort for just one potential client.
Right. And again, this is an overarching concept of just what you should be doing every day and make time for in your business. But for our listeners, I do want to share that, okay? Because therein lies the financial punchline. This one project would be worth 10 times more than any other project I've done since I went out on my own 6 years ago to open ADM Architecture. Round numbers, $250,000.
Holy
Tell me,
cow.
Is that worth the effort, Mark?
That is huge. So you put in the effort on the front end and essentially created the situation to grow your business with one project.
Yeah.
That's
That's
fantastic.
the idea. Absolutely. That's 4,000 billable hours to my business. 2 years of full-time work. One project. So worth it. Every drop of sweat, tears, minutes, hours, weeks, and months you put into dripping educational exposure and soft selling via relationships will pay you major, major dividends over time. I'll say it again. I want it to sink in. This takes patience. It takes persistence. It's not hard. Anyone can do this. You're ready to start doing this. You have to have trust and faith in the process. We can teach you this process. It's blind faith at some level, but now I'm proving it to you. You've got to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe in why you're here, believe in what you're meant to do. Lead with your passion. The money will follow. I can promise you that. If you have a long-term vision for the business reason you are here on earth, chase your passion, let it happen, and get support, get accountability, invest in yourself and your business. Remember, the start of this story for me was many years ago on a different business venture. I spent thousands of dollars on myself, and it's paying off now in a completely different company in a way I couldn't even see back then that would pay dividends. Believe in investing in you. Now, in closing, I want to point something out to our owners and our listeners. Going to this next level isn't for everybody. It's not for someone that just wants to make a quick buck. It's for people that are sincerely passionate about their work. It's not for people who can't see the long game. It's for people who know they're here on this earth to make a difference. It is for you if you want to build something that can do that and fulfill your own financial desires. It certainly isn't for someone that doesn't want to change their future.
Yep.
So you need support, You need accountability to help yourself create life-altering changes and stick to the work that's required to get there. So, why not get that? If you believe you're ready to level up your company and your personal life, if you want that more than anything, if you are starving for answers that are different than the status quo, and you want to start earning the money you deserve for the work that you're doing, helping people like the boomer consumer, I want you to go to bybellive.com/ready and apply to work with us.
Yeah, and just answer the questions on that form. We'll review it and set up a strategy call to learn more about your business. And during the strategy call, we'll do a deep dive into your situation and your company. Then we'll be able to help you see more clearly the areas that need your attention, and we'll also know if it'll be a good fit for us to work together, and we'll continue from there. And you'll get the support you need right now and for your future. We appreciate everyone listening today, and if you would, please share this episode on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Help us reach even more owners like yourself that are doing good work in their communities by helping their customers. And don't forget to go to bybellive.com/ready and fill out the application to find out if you are truly ready to make a change in your life. Until the next time, be well, be bold, and boom your bottom line.
Have a great week, everybody.